This is the Campfire website, which you can get to by going to once.com/campfire or just once.com and you'll see a link to it. One thing I quite like about this is the simple but coherent branding. So they've got this Once logo, which they're going to use for the sort of umbrella company or brand. Then you look over here, you can see the Campfire logo. They've taken this concept of the Once logo of this squiggly line. They've rotated it and they've made it into this fire effect, right? So you've got the colors that represent a flame. And so that's a nice way of saying it's part of the Once package, but it's its own separate thing, Campfire. First thing you might notice is that the whole website is very blue, apart from this section here, which hangs down and acts as a sticky call to action. You can see as I scroll, it stays there. And what I like about this is that they've made everything blue, including the title bar and this sort of navigation. But there's one thing that's very clearly not blue, which is this green checkout button. And so that's a nice way of using a simple visual style for the rest of the website, all these shades of blue, and making the one thing they want you to do, which is check out to buy Campfire, really stand out. They only have to use a different color. They're not competing with lots of other things because they've been so simple with their visual style, so coherent with everything else, so that all feels like it fits together, and this checkout button feels like it stands out. So one thing I like about this is the text or the typography hierarchy. So you've got quite big body text, but they've gone even bigger for things like this subtext or subtitle and this main title. But as I scroll down a bit further, you can see they've even got this smaller text that acts as the question to the answer. And in this case, the answer is probably considered slightly more important. But what I quite like is that, unlike other parts of the website, the answer text is bigger than the question text. I think most designers would probably avoid that. They'd probably have the question text be bigger or the same size and, bold or something. I think that's what fits into the visual hierarchy in our head sort of more naturally. We think, oh, this is like a title, so it should be bigger than the answer. But they've done something quite nice here. They've made the title brighter and it's a different typeface, and so it stands apart enough and it helps you understand the structure of this section enough that they can make the answer, which is actually the more important text as far as they're concerned, bigger. So that's a nice balance. But if I go back to the top here, one thing I find interesting is that they've faded out this video with this blue overlay. Again, makes everything more coherent and really helps you to focus on this play button. I have to guess here, but I suspect this is because they want you to watch the video, but lots of people see these embedded videos and assume they're images because the play button doesn't stand out as much. And so they maybe scroll past them. In this case, they're actually sacrificing some of your ability to see the product up close in this sort of initial view. See it clearly, and they're really focusing on that play button. And it makes sense for Once and 37 Signals who make it, because their video walkthroughs are excellent. And so I think they are really pushing you to watch the demo so that you understand the product better than if you just saw a screenshot, especially since the visual style of the app is sort of intentionally quite simple. It's meant to be a simple product, and so they're not really trying to wow you with the visual style as much as they are with the functionality and the price. So I think the video walkthrough does a better job of selling that than just a screenshot would. But if you are interested in a closer look, as they say, then they do include screenshots a bit further down. So it feels like they've really intentionally prioritized, please watch the video. Then they explain everything that would have been explained in the video. So this is this nice sort of hierarchy. If you don't want to watch this, you can fall back on reading and looking at screenshots. Again, with such a simple visual style, these white screenshots, where everything else is essentially shades of blue, apart from these titles, these white screenshots really stand out. And so this visual style puts a lot of focus on the product, but it also matches the simplicity of the product visually. They're using a screenshot to show that they support dark mode without making it too obvious, although they do include it here. That's quite a nice way to do that, just use a sort of standard screenshot, show it in dark mode instead, and it lets people know that that's available. You don't have to make a really big deal out of it. Again, you can see the table cells of these shades of blue. Everything is sort of fitting in coherently with this blue. They've got another video here with the blue overlaid, and again, they're really focusing you on the play button here. I've watched both of these videos and they're both quite engaging, so I can see why they'd want to encourage you to watch them. Even this one about installing Campfire, which is 8 minutes long, is fun to watch for someone like me who's not particularly technical. Again, I've already mentioned the interesting use of hierarchy here. And that's it. I think this basically matches the simple approach they're taking to the product perfectly. If it had been a simple product and a really complicated visual style, that might have felt out of place. But the way they've done this, it makes it feel coherent, it makes it feel simple. It really helps you to focus on the important parts like the play button and the checkout button. And it generally matches their philosophy as well as the style of the Once website. So they've got this brand style I assume they'll use across the different products.